All right, if you've listened to this channel long enough, you know that my favorite locomotives are the EMD E units, and right behind me is Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac E8 number 1002. Now, this unit was one of the early E8s built in 1949, and just so you know, the production run ran from 1949 into 1954. Now, the 1002 not only operated on some of America's most prominent passenger trains, such as the Silver Star, the Silver Meteor, and the Champion, but it was also one that did not end up going to Amtrak, and that's part of the reason why it's still here with us. This was traded into the Electromotive Division, its manufacturer, and although most of the trade-ins that went to EMD ended up getting cut up next door at a scrapyard called Pilot Brothers, the 1002 was saved by EMD, and it was used as part of their operations for plant testing and otherwise, and eventually ended up here at the Virginia Museum of Transportation. But I also want to point out one other thing. I want you to take a look at the construction of the locomotive. Unlike the hood units that we're used to seeing on most mainline trains today, and even Amtrak's Genesis locomotives, these are actually constructed a lot like a truss bridge. So you see the sides, that's actually where most of the strength in the locomotive comes from. The frame is relatively thin, but it does have a frame. I know there's been some kind of quote unquote misinformation out there suggesting that these locomotives don't have a frame, but they actually do. And the cab is actually built and added on separately to the trusses. Now the E8, like all the other E units, was what we call A1A truck arrangement, or wheel arrangement. That meant the outer axles, see this one and that one, are powered while the center axles are an idler. This was done for weight considerations and also to make them easier on the track. The other interesting thing about E units, they have two diesel engines inside, and you can see them both through the open trusses there. Each diesel engine, a 12-cylinder 567 B series when originally built, turned a D15B main generator, and that provided power to the traction motors mounted on the axle. So now you got a little rundown of the E8, and perhaps you know why I love them so much. So thanks for choosing All Things Trains, and we'll see you down the line.